there. This is Barbara Buckley, and I'm Kirk Prine, and we want to welcome you to a conversation that we want to have this month around the archetype of the mystic. Barbara and I, at the end of this month, April 30th, are putting on a workshop called The Mystic for queer women and queer men to come together and have some experience around connecting to the divine, to the sacred for themselves. But whether you're watching this and you're queer or you label yourself or queer, we'd love for you to be involved in this conversation with us. And the conversation we want to have this month is to ask the question of how do you experience the divine especially in your body, but how do you experience the divine, the sacred, God, Goddess, that which is bigger than yourself, that which is in you, however you see that, but how do you experience that, and especially in your body? So I'm going to start off the conversation and just get some ideas with Barbara here, and you be kind of musing yourself with us around this question. I'm going to chime in a moment too. So Barbara, tell me the juice.
The juice. Oh. There are so many different ways that I experience spirit, that I experience the divine. And I guess when I think about my body, the first place is in the breath and being consciously connected and aware of my breathing, which then actually helps me to be aware and conscious of my whole body, I think. So I think that's probably the first thing that I think about when I think about my body.
Yeah.
But for me, my experience of the divine is really a lot in relationship to all sorts of connection. My favorite expression is namaste. The divine in me sees the divine in you, or welcomes the divine in you. So for me, I feel most connected to spirit, to the sacred, when I am in community or when I am in connection with another person. And I feel that aliveness in my spirit, in my mind, and in my body, most especially when I am in connection with others.
Are there special times or ways in which that happens or that gets activated for you?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, it can be a whole range of things. I was thinking it can be from singing together in a church or choir, or other kinds of things, that kind of using the voice together, being connected in that kind of way. It can be through touch, sharing erotic or sexual or nurturing touch with another. It can obviously be through sexual experiences as well. But for me, it is that's an exciting aspect of the divine connection, but not by far not the only one, I guess, because sex is, percentage-wise, kind of the sexual connection with others is probably a small amount of time of my day or week or month, and I would like to think that I'm connected.
More.
Yes, good. But I'd like to think that I'm connected with the divine all the time, and that I can find access to that in myself and in connection with others in all kinds of ways.
Yeah. Well, what you reminded me of is, there's Tantra.
Yes.
Those tantrikas, those tantrics who their mysticism really was about having divine connection, divine marriage, divine oneness through the body of another, or through the bodies of many. I remember there's a story, Andrew Harvey, the queer mystic, talks about that people would go into the Hindi temples, and when they went into the Hindi temples, they would actually go into the inner sanctum where it would be totally dark. They take their clothes off and they begin to touch each other as a way to really connect with the divine. So, how yummy. There is that pathway. But, so many. And for the people watching and musing with us, how do you connect to the divine? How do you connect to spirit? My beloved Donnie just walked in the door, and you may have heard his his voice as he came in and saying "baby" as his little welcome, and that's that's immediate for me. The divine is awakened when I hear my beloved's voice. So when you were talking before about the namaste, the namaste is those the juicy connections, and just having him come in while we're doing this video is actually really perfect. So thank you, God, Goddess, and my beloved's timing for all of that. Yeah. So how do you experience the divine? How do you experience the divine in your body? Is the question for us to muse on, and we want to play with, and the other question I kind of want to partner with this is, especially for queer people, to be thinking about, mysticism has been a part of every tradition, every religious tradition, even earth-based traditions. They may not call themselves mystics, they call themselves shamans, but the experience of the Great Spirit, of the divine within, the divine without, has been a part of every tradition. And so as people are musing about mysticism, especially queer folk, I want you to think about who are the people and the traditions of mysticism that have informed you, and especially who are the queer mystics. All the poets, Rumi, who was probably not a queer man, but clearly every mystic was a queer, in my mind, because they were outside the realm. They were kind of the outlaws in a sense of religion, but like him was Walt Whitman, and in the poetry of Walt Whitman, how many people's lives have been awakened and their spirits have been awakened because of the words of Walt Whitman. Your body is sacred. Just that. I know you all the time talk about Audre Lorde and use quotes from her. What an amazing. So all the different ways that mysticism has been expressed too, through words and actions and movement and social justice, and all of it has been inclusive in seeing that the divine in each other that you just talked about. Well, I think we got a good start.
That's a great start.
So we may give you a few more of these just to chew on, but be musing with us. What is it, how is it that you connect to the divine, to the sacred, especially through your body? And we'd love to hear from you and to have those conversations. For the men of flesh and spirit, we have our Ning site for all of you who are a part of Women's Flesh and Spirit. You can tune in with Barbara, and those who don't want to identify as queer, but you are really queer if you're listening to this, and that you're even thinking about mysticism. Feel free to fire off an email to either one of us, Kirk at fleshandspirit.org, and
Jasmine, SF, JASMINE, SF for San Francisco at AOL.com.
Great. So we'd love to hear from you. So beloveds, to you, namaste.
Namaste.